from the Evelyn Theater for the Performing Arts in the village of Mamaroneck. It's the LMC-TV Studio 2 First Anniversary Celebration and Awards Presentation. With us tonight, Village of Larchmont Mayor Miriam Kernan, Village of Mamaroneck Mayor Paul Noto, Mamaroneck Town Supervisor Caroline Silverstone, and our keynote speaker, Congresswoman Nita Lowy. Awards for Best Individual Program, Best Series Program, and Outstanding Volunteer. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Larchmont Mamaroneck Community Television's Board President, Sonny Goldberg.
Thank you. I wonder if this happens in California. I don't know. Welcome to our celebration of our first birthday for Studio 2. It's an extremely exciting time for us, and we want to thank you all for coming and for helping us to make this event, as well as our studio, very, very successful. First of all, I'd like to introduce people who, by this time, from LMC-TV, do not need any introduction, but TV stars in their own right. Mayor Kernan, who you just saw, and Mayor Noto, and the town supervisor. If you all come on up for a second. What's really nice about having Studio 2 is when there was only Studio 1, we weren't stars. Yeah, right. So I really think that's a great improvement. Thank you for that elevation. Everybody's first year is significant. First year in a baby's life, first year of marriage, and certainly the first year of this studio. And it's been wonderfully successful. I love being here to do a show. And I say happy birthday to you. Congratulations, and we look forward to many more celebrations.
I second those very well chosen words on the part of the Mayor, and I'd like to congratulate LMC Studio 2 for its first birthday and for being such a wonderful facility. It's a great pleasure to come over and work with Alan Ribuffo and his always competent staff of volunteers. Today I want to congratulate you for building on high ground. It was very good forethought. Thank you.
When I think of appearing on LMC-TV, I'm reminded of Spencer Tracy's famous comments on advising people who wish to act. He said, just know your lines and don't bump into the furniture. And I'm sure that that's the kind of advice we get all the time from this wonderful staff at LMC-TV, and we appreciate it because LMC-TV is a wonderful asset to our community. And I think all three of us really appreciate the kinds of asset it is and how it really enriches the quality of our lives. And I wish you a very happy birthday and many, many happy returns. Thank you.
It's our pleasure to share this space with the Mamaroneck Library as well as the Imlin, and it is a unique experience, and I don't think that there is another communication system like this going anyplace in the United States where we have a theater, a library, and a TV studio all in one, and we're very fortunate in this community to have such a thing. Gloria Pritz from the library, I think, will just tell us a few words. Gloria is from the library, but she's also a past board member, and so we claim half of her. Thank you.
Thanks, sweetheart. I'm here representing Mary LaJudas, President of the Board of Education, and all the other members of the board. And we are so pleased to have Studio 2 here in our facilities, just available to the community for all of the so many programs that they have done, whether it's the Historical Society programs that we do live right here in the Kirstein Room, or the Marcia Hupp, the children's librarian, videotaping her reading stories to the little tiny tots. Whatever it is, it has just been absolutely wonderful. And it seems like it was yesterday that the library board voted to, yes, unanimously, yes, approve Studio 2 being here in the Mamaroneck Free Library. It seems just like yesterday, and I guess when you're having a good time, time goes by so fast. Thank you so much, Studio 2 LMC-TV, and good luck to you.
We also share this spot with the Imlin Theater. Unfortunately, Emily Grant, who is the president of the board, and Norman Klein could not be here. So I'm going to thank them very much. And also I'm going to mention, because I see my friend Lois Teisch out there, that the Imlin is having a very exciting event, a summer gala on June 9th, and we hope that you all will come back here again and join us for that. The Manhattan Rhythm Kings will be playing, and people will be invited to dinners before, and if you're interested, you can ask the Imlin, and I'm sure they'll be glad to give you an invitation or give you information about it. But we are very pleased to have this space here at the Imlin because we have been able to go live with a lot of wonderful programs which Norman and the cooperation between Norman and Emily and our board has enabled us to do, which has really enriched our programming this year. Also, I'd like to take a few minutes to introduce a couple people in the audience before we begin our major part of our program. First of all, Ira Birnbaum, where are you? He's someplace here, I think. Yes? Hello. Yeah, stand up, Ira. Ira Birnbaum makes this all possible for us from the very beginning. General Manager of UA Columbia and a very good friend to LMC-TV. Sitting next to him is Joe Fraioli, who is our village manager and our general manager of LMC. So can you stand, Joe? I'd also like to introduce my board because once a month on Monday nights they come and they hash out policy for us all, and that's why we really are working and able to perform in the way we do. It's a volunteer position, as you all know, and I am particularly appreciative of all of my board. They've been extremely helpful, and I can't thank you enough. I'd like to start with my Vice President, Carol West, who's out there someplace. A lot of you might know Carol from being around for a while in the Mamaroneck school system, and Larchmont Mamaroneck school system. Our secretary, who is still not going to forgive me because I didn't send him flowers for Secretary Day, Hank Sarasoli, stand up. Our treasurer, Sandy Weed, who has joined us recently. Back there. Thank you, Sandy. Frank Light, who is unable to be with us tonight because he got a little mixed up in terms of our date, but we still want to mention his name. Tom Ross, who's in the front row right there. Tony Ryan is someplace around. Tony, thank you. These are relatively new members of our board, Tony and Tom. Rita Blockton, who you probably have seen quite a bit on LMC-TV. And our newest member, Fred Cohen, who is out here someplace. And I don't know if he's that thrilled about being our newest member since we got him to speak tonight, but we welcome him. Anyway, thank you all. And there are two other people that I would really like to stand. If you enjoyed the decorations tonight and all of the beauty that went into trying to make this as nice as we possibly could, it was all donated by Lori Lynn Rossblatt, as well as the plastics and the dinnerware and things, as long as I recycled. So we have recycled everything. We will be recycling it. Where is Lori Lynn? I swear. Thank you. Okay. And another person, Dorothy Winder, are you here someplace? Dorothy. Dorothy is from the East Side Savings Bank, and East River. Hey. East River Savings Bank, and they are a new contributor to LMC-TV. They provided us the awards for this evening, and we thank you very much. Please tell everybody there that we thank them. Okay. Also, I want to give a hearty thanks to somebody who has been a supporter of ours forever, and that is Station Liquors, Mark Cohen, who donated all the wine for this evening, and the House of Flowers, the Flower Barn, and the Seed Store. So thank you all. Without volunteers, we couldn't do it, and I just want you to remember that many of the people who work in this community are particularly generous, and we're very appreciative. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Cece Ray, who is Nita Lowey's Congressional District Director. Cece?
It's especially nice for me to be here tonight because I'm a local. Nita was very sorry she couldn't be with you tonight, but Washington called. I talked to her this afternoon, and she sent her best congratulations and happy birthdays to all of you, and to LMC-TV, and to the Larchmont and Mamaroneck communities. She, as you all know, is a strong believer in public access television. And on that note, she did send her best wishes.
What a wonderful job you all have done. I wish that I could be with you tonight to share in the celebration of the first anniversary of the new LMC-TV studio. As LMC-TV has shown, public access television can play a very important role in our community. Public access means giving the individual a voice. A community is strengthened when a person has the means to share opinions, experience, and creative endeavors with neighbors. Since its inception, LMC-TV has served as an exemplary model for community television. Whether it's the Fireman's Carnival, a League of Women Voters candidate debate, a senior citizens fitness program, a town council meeting, or storytelling at the library, LMC-TV puts people in touch with one another. Thanks to dozens of volunteers, LMC-TV programming is telecast to cable viewers 86 hours of every week. The opening of this second facility 1 year ago has been an enormously successful addition to the LMC-TV team. And I understand that the National Federation of Local Cable Programming is considering LMC-TV for their annual Community Contribution Award, the top award for access centers across the country. LMC-TV clearly deserves this award and should serve as a model for our community. Programming across the nation. I am looking forward to meeting with Joe Windish and other LMC-TV representatives when they visit Washington in July for the Federation's annual convention. I know that everyone is concerned about the future of cable television. Congress is currently considering a number of pieces of legislation to re-regulate aspects of the cable industry and change the resources with which local municipalities can negotiate franchise agreements with cable companies. The legislation is currently being considered by the House Subcommittee on Telecommunications. No matter which way this legislation goes, we must protect public access and ensure that facilities such as yours can continue to broadcast into our neighborhoods. You can be sure that this member of Congress, your member of Congress, will continue to strongly support community access television. Let me extend my congratulations to the winners of tonight's awards: Best Individual Program, the Larchmont League of Women Voters, and the Mamaroneck League of Women Voters, and I've appeared on those shows. Best Series Program, Rita Blockton, Bill Littauer, Jeff Montanero, and Roger Norum. Outstanding Volunteer, Eileen Deutsch. And congratulations, my sincere congratulations to Joe Windish, Executive Director and Access Coordinator, for your unceasing efforts to bring community programming to the residents of Larchmont and Mamaroneck. And congratulations to the town of Mamaroneck, the village of Mamaroneck, and the village of Larchmont for having the forethought over a decade ago to invest in community television. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Cece. Nita was unfortunately unable to come in person, and we asked Fred Cohn to fill in, and we're really thrilled to have him. He's the president of King World International. Since I've told people that you were speaking tonight, Fred, lots of people obviously turned out to hear you, so we thank you very much for filling in, and we look forward to hearing you.
I'm honored to be here tonight, and even more honored to be asked to fill in for Congresswoman Nita Lowey. I would have much preferred to be in the audience listening to her. And I also promised that tonight I would not give you any commercials for the King World programs such as Oprah Winfrey or Wheel of Fortune or Jeopardy or Inside Edition, nor would I tell you what times they are on your local New York television station, so I will not do that. But as we salute LMC-TV tonight and the local award winners, I thought it might be interesting to give you a brief survey with no commercials of some of the changes taking place with television around the world and how those changes relate to our own local community cable channel. No matter where you go in the world today, you see both programs and channels from the United States. However, more importantly, in each country, it is the local or national programs which attract the highest ratings and not the imported programs. Localism is still the bedrock of television. A bit of history. It is nearly 20 years since the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, voted its second report and order on cable TV. I'm sure Ira Birnbaum can fill you in on that. This rather complicated legal document set in motion the regulations which helped establish LMC-TV and the other local cable channels across the country. In the pre-Watergate atmosphere of Washington, the FCC had been struggling with how to protect the local broadcast television stations from competition from the new cable industry, which those local broadcasters felt had been preying on their fortunes by importing distant television signals from Philadelphia or Boston, for example, into the New York area. At the same time, the FCC felt a responsibility to provide the public with more channels and services by developing this new technology, cable. The battle lines were drawn, and while industry leaders and cable-held legislators were lobbying and fighting about how many distant signals could be brought into the community, there was also a small but highly effective and vocal group of advocates for public access, education, and governmental channels. This group was led by George Stoney, who I believe is here tonight, who actually was a professor of mine about 20 years ago at Stanford University, and many others who put forth a persuasive argument, namely, this new industry must be required to give back to the public access channels for local governments, the public, and the school systems. And at that time, on cable, such channels as USA, ESPN, CNN, HBO, Nickelodeon did not exist. The compromise was simple: allow distant signals to be brought in, which the cable industry needed to attract subscribers, and at the same time require those cable operators to provide local channels for such services as LMC-TV. And it is gratifying to see George Stoney and others still pushing the local cable operators to provide more assistance and training television programmers such as Joe Windish and others. But program services from the European continent, from Germany, France, Scandinavia, Italy. These new channels in the UK and elsewhere in Europe will require programming, and this demand will create massive changes in the production, distribution, and financing of programming. Don't worry, large production companies face the very same financing problems as does LMC-TV. While we may not always like the programs we watch in the United States, we are still fortunate to have the most popular programs around the world. I've just returned from Cannes, France, from the MIP TV market, where over 8,000 buyers, sellers, and producers of programs convene. It's like a giant flea market. Only TV programs are bought and sold rather than hubcaps and baked goods and antiques. With all of these new channels going on the air around the world and TV monopolies controlled by governments breaking down, the demand for programming is increasing, and that's driving up not only the prices, but also controversy. For example, in Europe, the EEC countries would like to limit the amount of non-European programming that stations in its member countries can carry. While the European channels will need nearly 300,000 hours of programming per year, that's compared to, 233 hours on LMC-TV this past year, which is, by the way, an extremely impressive amount of programming for a local channel, it is clear that the European broadcasters will not be able to produce it themselves. They will have to buy from abroad because it is cheaper to buy programs than to produce. But production costs are also rising. This is forcing many broadcasters to co-produce and adapt formats from other countries. Many of you may have watched the recent USA cable miniseries, Not a Penny More, Not a Penny Less, starring Ed Asner. That was co-produced by Paramount Pictures from the United States, the BBC in the UK, and a French television company, Revcom. TNT, Turner, is now producing a miniseries, for example, Catherine the Great, in the Soviet Union with Mosfilm. Even HBO's Josephine Baker story is being produced not in France or in Hollywood, but in Budapest. The world is getting smaller, and in working together, broadcasters are saving money. The practice of adapting formats from other countries is also growing. Many of you may not be aware, but America's Funniest Home Videos is really based on a popular program from Japan. It was brought over to the United States and adapted by an enterprising American. King World has been successful formatting Wheel of Fortune around the world. Local versions of Wheel, for example, are on the air in prime time in every European country except Finland. We have a panoply of Vannas. Entertainment is not the only sector which is changing. So too are news gathering and news viewing habits. CNN is now seen around the world. World leaders now turn to CNN for information rather than, in some instances, their own staff to find out what is happening. In the US, there is a quiet revolution going on with local television news as well. First, local TV stations love local news because they keep 100% of the advertising revenues, which they do not do with programs supplied by the networks. A strong local news show can also attract sizable audiences, which flow into their primetime schedule. Secondly, with the new technologies of videotape, satellites, and mobile uplinks, the local stations are not restricted to their own markets. When the Berlin Wall fell, not only were the U.S. network correspondents there, but also were many local newscasters from across the United States. In many markets, the ratings for local news shows are greater than those for network news. Local stations are now banding together to create their own local news magazine shows and reality programs. Indeed, there are even regional news magazines shows now. A Saratoga Springs, New York company is now producing Broadcast New York, a weekly half-hour magazine show. It's a regional news magazine show described as PM Magazine with teeth. In fact, 2 NBC stations are reported to be planning to air this regional show instead of the NBC Nightly News weekend edition. I hope the day may soon come when we find LMC-TV coordinating regional cable news magazines in the same manner for Westchester and the New York area. Indeed, it would not surprise me to learn someday that the next Edward R. Murrow or Jane Pauley got his or her first television experience at LMC-TV. With all of the dramatic changes, such as new advances in high-definition television, magnetic optical discs, DBS, direct broadcast satellites, and interactive TV, it is important not to forget that the strength of any broadcasting system is in servicing its local community. And that is something for which LMC-TV should be very proud. The South Shore communities have a historical precedent for informing citizens and protecting the rights of individuals through the dissemination of information. For it was in New Rochelle that Thomas Paine, the great revolutionary pamphleteer and writer, lived. In essence, he was in his day, over 200 years ago, a one-person local cable origination channel. While to this day, historians still don't know where the actual remains of Thomas Paine lie, I like to think that his spirit still lives in our own LMC-TV. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Since Vanna and Oprah couldn't come, we're thrilled to have you, absolutely. It's now my pleasure to introduce Joe Windish, who's been with us 3 years, which is an amazing thing in itself, and has changed us from a little teeny tiny access center to a very exciting, wonderful place to work, to be involved with, and his energy and enthusiasm is sometimes overwhelming and overbearing, but we absolutely adore having him. We're very appreciative, and with no further ado, I will introduce Joe.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy to be up here tonight to recognize and thank the many people who make Larchmont Mamaroneck Community Television such a vital part of our community. LMC-TV volunteers produced over 225 hours of programming last year. They did over 300 shows. We collected over 2,400 signatures on our sign-in sheets. And with the opening of the library studio here, we've been able to more than double the number of hours we're open to the community. We've more than tripled the number of hours that we're on the air. Every day, we cablecast programming from 10 a.m. until 1:30 a.m., except Sundays, and we're working on Sundays. Those are pretty dazzling numbers. I'm very pleased by them. All of this has come about through the extraordinary volunteer efforts of your friends and neighbors, and we are here tonight to honor some outstanding examples of that community effort. In the category Best Individual Program of 1989, the winner is the Candidates Forum. The forum was done live in the Palmer Avenue studio before a live audience. Taped inserts for the program were produced using both of our studios. 12 candidates for office had to be shuttled on and off the stage, and there were questions taken live from the audience. The program was a great service to the voters of this community, a huge undertaking, and it's very deserving of this award. It was produced by the Larchmont League of Women Voters and the Mamaroneck League of Women Voters, and accepting the awards are Larchmont League of Women Voters President Judy O'Gorman and co-presidents of the Mamaroneck League, Joanne Turretts and Bev Neufeld.
Thank you. My first thanks must go to LMC-TV. The ability to not only live telecast, but repeat broadcast candidates' debates gives us the opportunity to reach many more voters. The enthusiastic support of the LMC staff is heartening. The technical assistance is invaluable in producing a professional quality program. LMC and LMC volunteers have been a wonderful asset to the League's educational work. I'd also like to thank Ann McAndrews, who did everything from pre-recording voter service information to schlepping official town flags to enhance our set. Sue Hertz, our resident television expert, without whom we would never dare to attempt live programming of this complexity. And among others, Alice Modell, Mary Joyce Behringer, Sandy Wilbur, Alexandra LeClaire, Lois Taubman, Phyllis Bears, Sarah Aaron, and Pat Latona, and everyone else who turns out to crew our programs. And thanks most of all to our talent, past New York State League President Marion Sinek, who moderated this debate with grace and finesse. And actually, most of all, thanks to the candidates who endure a challenging and difficult format.
Thank you, LMC, for choosing us and for this honor. Candidates Night is probably one of the most visible parts of the League. It's an opportunity to present the candidates in a nonpartisan setting, giving the voters an opportunity to make informed decisions. In the past, only people who were able to attend Candidates Night had the benefit of sharing the candidates' views and ideas on what's happening in our villages and our towns. Through the use of LMC-TV and public access, we are now able to present that to all people, and we
love having that opportunity. Thank you very much.
It's true that the candidates' debates are the heart and soul of the work that the League of Women Voters does, but that's just the beginning of the relationship that we have with the League, with LMC-TV. The purpose of the League is to educate the public and to give the public a forum to find out about issues of local, state, and national interest. So we sponsor many speakers, many forums. It could be about health care or perhaps about housing. In June, we hope to have one about pesticides that we'd love for you to join us at. Well, LMC is always there. If it's a rainy night or a snowy night, we know that LMC-TV is going to bring that program to the residents of Mamaroneck and Larchmont, and that's a wonderful feeling. You publicize our program, you broadcast it, you rebroadcast it and rebroadcast it, and then you even put it on a news program. So I think that LMC-TV is actually our local newspaper, and you are bringing information about our community to the citizens of our community. We thank you very much for being here for us, and we look forward to many more years of our relationship. Thank you.
Each Thursday night, the Palmer Avenue studio is taken over by a dedicated group of people. The office is filled with some at the typewriter, others writing scripts, and still others preparing while they wait their turn in the studio. They are an ever-changing assemblage representing virtually every aspect of our community. They produce their program on their own with very little assistance from our staff, and then afterwards go out on the town to recuperate. On Fridays, the efforts of these dozens of people are edited together in a program that will have its debut the following Monday. The winner in the category Best Series Program for 1989 is LMC News, and Rita Blockton has prepared a taped sample for us to look at now.
Hello and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Bill Littauer.
Good evening and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Bill Littauer.
Good evening and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Bill Littauer.
Good evening and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Bruce Weiner.
Good evening and welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Rita Blockton.
Welcome to Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Bill Littauer.
And sitting in for Roger Norham, I'm Randy Norham. And these are some of the stories coming up. The improvement of Westchester County Airport. O'Rourke approves the referendum.
News. We've covered everything from overcrowding in our elementary schools to plans for building more co-ops at the Mamaroneck train station. Building on Bonnie Briar. Building on David's Island. The milky water in our faucets to the dirty water in our harbor. Elections, politicians, Earth Day.
We've been getting ready for Earth Day Sunday.
The building of the new Harbor Island ice rink. Firemen, policemen, senior citizens, school reports, financial news, real estate, the carnival, and the Larchmont Motel. You name it, and we've tried to be there. 27 shows in a row, and this duck just about says it all. Now, listen to this.
Greg Federbush, the production coordinator here at Larchmont Mamaroneck Community Television, was recently involved in the production of a feature film. It's called Torn Apart. It's a love story that takes place in the Middle East between an Israeli soldier and an Arab girl.
Short and to the point. Sounds great and so professional. This is where it came from.
Was recently involved in the production
Bear with
of
Roger
a feature
for just
film.
a minute.
It's called Torn Apart. It's a love story that takes place in the Middle East between an Israeli soldier and an Arab girl. It begins when the two meet as next-door neighbors, as children. And Ben and Lila are their names. They become best friends until they're separated in their adolescence during the Six-Day War. They are reunited later, and when Ben returns to Israel to serve in the army. They love each other, and They what?
They see each other.
I saw SE. I was gonna say, I know it isn't sex, but it is sex.
I know.
Thank God for editing. Okay. 1, 2, 3. One of the features, no.
Did you get, what did I say, electorate?
Here's Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News reporter. Whoops, I blew that one.
4, 5, 6.
You don't want me to read so fast?
Faster.
Yeah. Oh, okay. 7, 8.
Bill? I felt very uncomfortable with that whole...
7, 8, 9, 10. 1.
But
Is Sharon Tate from the Nanuet system.
cut. Sharon Tate.
13, 14, 15. Somebody think of something.
Remember, you know, Sharon.
Sarah.
Sarah. And you know who Sharon Tate is?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, this is a nightmare.
Just go like this. That's what you're having a hard time. You're having.
We're coming down to the wire. March 20th, you don't have to laugh.
Just go like this.
Then my makeup will be all off.
That's all right.
It is not.
I blew it.
Nice work on the prompter. It's moving along.
We're here today at the, sorry, I have to start again.
I'm sorry.
They see each other at the checkpoint in the West Bank where Layla is a teenager, a teacher.
Here today at the Westchester Humane Society Harrison Division. I was here last week to drop off a kitten.
Now you're gonna have to move the script a little bit to the right, just a hair.
Okay, quiet on the set. Rita, you ready?
Yeah.
A whole all over again? Can't you take pieces of one and the other?
One take wonder, they call Rita.
Okay, I'll start at 20. 20, 21, 22.
And was afraid what I was going to find and was pleasantly surprised. What? Is it too long?
Okay, I can do it. We have Students Against Drunk Drivers and Safe Rides. With me. Me again?
You again.
Forget it.
Thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norham.
And I'm Bill Littauer. We'll see you again next week at the same time.
Receiving awards are in alphabetical order: Rita Blockton, producer; Bill Littauer, anchor and writer; Jeff Montanaro, director; and Roger Norham, anchor and writer. Come on up, guys.
Thank you, thank you. Terrific.
I wanted to surprise them with that. And I don't want to go first anymore. Oh, sure.
I'd like to start out by thanking our crew.
I should thank you first. They don't know who you are yet.
Oh, I'm Jeff Montanaro. I'm the director. And yes, Rita's the producer. And I'm backed by a very good crew. My technical director, Nancy St. Leifer, Joyce Sutherland, Bruce Weiner, Sven Ohm, Vicky Strauss, Jim White, and my technical consultants, Debbie Red Slansky and Greg Federbush, who is the director here tonight. And I'd like to special thank for the people up here tonight with me, Roger Norham, Bill Littauer, and Rita Blockton, for their advice, their support, and their understanding, this being my first show as a director. And I'd also like to thank Joe Windish and Mike Witch and the board of LMC-TV for putting together such a fine facility. And in closing, I'd just like to add that those of you watching tonight that are new to our community, and those of you who've lived here all of your life, LMC-TV is not only a lot of fun to do, but it's also a great place to meet people. Thank you.
everyone knows I have a very big mouth and an opinion on everything, but I don't know if anyone knows that I cannot speak in front of an audience. My first thing is to apologize to my children. I have been a witch since yesterday. We had a fight before I came. It has been a horror, and all I wanted to say, I have a few things that I have to say, or I wouldn't say anything at all. When Sonny thought about this and said, do it, I said, what a great idea. Oh, it's fabulous, I love it. And I think I was in a trance. If it wasn't for Roger Norham calling me every week saying, Rita, what stories are we going to have this week? And I would say, we really have to do this. This is a nightmare. Where are we going to get stories? What are we going to do? And he called, and we really did it together. And I thank you for that. It's hard work. There's no question about it, but there are a lot of rewards, and part of it is that I don't go to the office that often. Is anybody here from my office? I think Roger and Bill do a stupendous job anchoring. They are. And what else did I have to tell? I had this whole thing written. I threw it out. I said, I can't stand there and read. There are a few things, though, that I want to tell you. Jeff, poor Jeff. The director's like the chef in the control room. And Jeff is surrounded by 10 chefs and no bottle washers. Everybody has an opinion. So he sits there very calmly and just does his thing, which is terrific, because it's not that easy with it. Do that, right? So, sorry. I'm the worst offender. Okay. What I did want to say is that it is an incredible facility, and I'm sorry for the people that don't partake, that they don't partake more. For us, it's wonderful because we get more time, but it is a fabulous opportunity for anybody interested in broadcasting, and if anybody is interested, we'd love to have you come Thursday nights. The unexpected personal benefit to me was really, I know now 20 or 30 people from this community that I never would have met before and that I care very much about. And it's been terrific. And wait, this I have to read. Okay. We have a wonderful news team. Sven Ohm is very supportive, has wonderful ideas. Nancy St. Leifer has just been stolen from us, and she's now going to be working at Studio 2. Arthur Trowbridge, Sabina Michel, Joyce Sutherland, Alex Bloom, Jim White, Bruce Weiner, who did a wonderful Earth Day series and had the misfortune of being fabulous on our very temperamental teleprompter. So you get stuck doing that. Then we have our new reporters, Debbie Dorn and Lynn Bixler. They're our newest reporters. And our very newest reporter is Herbert Blockton, our senior citizen reporter, who is 84 years old, and we go on our first shoot on Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to... Oh, when did that happen? Sunny is our restaurant reporter, and Eileen Deutsch, who hardly ever has time for us, is a pleasure to work with. And thank you all, and thank you.
Well, Rita has said it all, I think. And as you can tell by the clip that she showed you, we do have an awful lot of fun doing this show. And she also saves us every Friday by editing it together with Greg so that it comes out looking fairly presentable. But I would like to second what Rita said about joining us on Thursday nights. As you can see, we have an awful lot of fun. And the second part of that is that it's a very good way to get to know your community and what's going on in it. After all, we who do news for a living have a saying, all news is local. The best news is the news that affects you most personally. And there's nothing that can affect you more deeply, more personally, than that which takes place in your community. So I'd really like to urge you or anyone you know, anybody who's, gee, I would kind of like to get involved in television somehow, to just show up at the Palmer Avenue studio about 7 o'clock or so on any Thursday night. We're always there, as Rita says, banging out the copy on the typewriter or putting the studio together, doing interviews, getting last-minute things done, and plotting out what we're going to try and do for the week ahead. So I hope you'll join us. It's a lot of fun, and we'd love to have any or all of you join us. Thanks again.
I'd like to ditto everything that Bill and Rita and Jeff said earlier, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the Academy, for this. It's the first award I've gotten since bowling pin I got in 1959 for good sportsmanship. The award is nice to get, but the real award, I think really all of us on the news team feel it really should go primarily to Rita Blockton. For her many hours, persistence, enthusiasm, she has kept the news program on the air. There are times when either Bill or I have sort of, not that say the enthusiasm wanes a bit, but we have our jobs too, and she has hers, but we've managed to keep a string of 27 consecutive programs on the air, and we're really proud of it, and the biggest thanks really for that goes to Rita. It takes about 3 hours every Thursday night to record the show, and after numerous hours of getting the video earlier in the week, sometimes on the day of the Thursday night program, or also on maybe the day that it's going to be edited, some of us will go out and shoot some video, and you're all invited to shoot your video and bring it to our studio. Pick your best minute, though, please, so it saves an editing time. And then Rita and Jeff work on editing the program on Friday night. The real winners of this award, as I said, are Rita and all the volunteers who work on the program, and they've listed them from Nancy St. Lifer, who is no longer, I guess, a volunteer. Does she still qualify as a volunteer, right? She's still allowed to work on the program. But Alice Bloom, who is our one of our other newest members, our political reporter, Sonny Goldberg, our restaurant reporter, and on and on. Alice Modell is a big contributor of tape, and we appreciate Alice's tape a lot. Of course, we couldn't do it without the expert guidance of Greg Federbush, and also the encouragement of the access coordinator, Joe Windish, who really has given us a big boost. As far as I'm concerned, my biggest thanks must go to Randy, who's been the biggest helper in my life, and the sounding board for a lot of ideas I've had with the show. Also, my son Roger, who's in another performance this evening over at the high school, but sometimes he finds time to break away from his studying to help out on Thursday nights. And my daughter Tracy, who is the best makeup girl in TV. Thank you.
To say, because I don't know if anybody's going to say it, this evening was a monumental effort on so many people's parts. Everybody that you see up here, Sonny did a tremendous job. Lori Lynn, you did a tremendous job. We all stood up, the members of the board. Sonny is the president of the board, and she does a super job of running it. And I just want to thank you and everybody.
I want to say a couple things. We're taping Roger Jr. over there, so just so you know, you can catch the performance on TV. And Roger is with CBS, and Bill Littauer is with WPIX Channel 11, CBS Radio and PIX, so we're really fortunate to have them doing our local news. Next category, Outstanding Volunteer. Our outstanding volunteer is familiar to many of you from her appearances on camera. She has been on 36 Live, LMC News, Our Free Class, and a number of other shows. She has produced programs on her own. She has also worked very hard behind the scenes. She's the best technical director we've got. She also works in the office. She helps organize events, including this one, written press releases and done mailings. She's been a great friend to LMC-TV and to me. And we are pleased to be recognizing her efforts tonight with this award. Our Outstanding Volunteer of the Year is Eileen Deutsch.
Roger, you took my whole speech. I was going to say I want to thank the Academy, but I blew it. That was my son screaming. And I want to thank my children first, because my kids really showed me that, if you want to go out and do something, go ahead and do it, And to my husband, Howie, who knows that I need to do it sometimes. to all the staff and the volunteers for LMC-TV who make it so much fun to do it, especially Hank Sarasoli, Jim White, and Sven Ohm, who went out with me a few times and chased me around the streets of Mamaroneck and Larchmont while I try to get you people to tell me what you think about things. And then, of course, you can't say anything about LMC-TV without thanking Greg Federbush and that lovable, always lovable, wonderful, easy to get along with Joe Windish. You do make some really incredible friendships when you work for LMC-TV, and it is a wonderful thing to get involved with. If you have ideas, you can bring it here. And you don't only, I love the new show, you're wonderful, but there are other things you can do too, and there's a lot of things to do. They want your ideas. It's part of the community. It's a way to show everybody what you're interested in, what you want to do, what you care about, and it's so much fun. It really is a lot of fun. And before I say my final thank you, Debbie Slansky, the redhead over there on the camera, gave me a present. She's staff person for LMC-TV. She made me a present for tonight. When I was growing up, my mother said to me, I know you're going to be a star. I know you're going to be famous. And Debbie gave me a present tonight that I really want to share with you so that you could see how right my mother was about that I'm going to be this great star. Whenever you're ready. I'm jealous I'm not over there tonight also. Hi, Eileen Deutsch, right? My resolution is to not steal people's laundries. You filming?
Yeah, go
Oh.
New Year's resolution.
Okay, tell us your name, where you guys live, and then tell me what your New Year's resolutions are. They can be as
Okay.
disgusting as you want. You want to be on TV? Come on, come on, come on. Happy New Year, everybody. Oh, what could you do for me?
For you, nothing, because you're already beautiful.
Oh, this has to get on, this must get on the show, okay? Stop filming! How about making resolutions to, like, help your family more around the house?
I'll pass on that one.
Clean up your room more often?
No.
Okay. This is my son. Okay, let's go some more. Here's another.
Be a more generous fellow.
Have you ever made them any resolutions before?
I'm very generous with being a generous fellow.
You're very oh, good, okay. Have you been generous already?
Sure.
Good.
I'm not charging you for this interview.
I'm not getting paid for doing it. To tell you the truth, you're the second person who said if they get paid. Sweetie, can you get off the wire, honey? Knock, knock.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody!
And how did you get here, Tracy?
I rode my bike.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, but beyond getting your bike, I drove my car. How did you get here?
Oh, it's just a short walk.
Oh, he walked. Bike, car, and walking. This is America. It's freedom of choice. It's terrific. There's nobody in the control room. Somebody go into the control room. Live TV. I mean, Sid Caesar. Who else was there?
Am I?
My first kiss, my first real wet kiss, was with George. So much fun. Isn't everybody having fun here tonight? Happy New Year, everybody, and here's hoping that you get to stick to your resolutions, too. Good night. Aren't I brave to let Debbie do that? Anyway, my mother was right, and it's wonderful, and everybody get involved, and we'll all see everybody in Washington when we win the award. Good night, thanks.
Okay, now I have a few thank yous. I can't name everybody, but I'm going to try. The LMC-TV board and Sonny Goldberg, thank you very much for all the support and help you've been at my job. The staff, I need to thank the staff. Ruel Thorney is our technician who makes it all possible. He designed that studio on wheels. Thank you, Ruel. Greg Federbush is the production coordinator at the Palmer Avenue studio. You've heard lots about him tonight. I second it all. Debbie Slansky, you heard about Red. Debbie is studio operations at the Palmer Studio. She has taken care of us by playing back programs. She plays back programs, but you used to see the blue screen all the time, and now you don't see the blue screen as much. She's the one who works all the commercials in between, and our commercials are community announcements by community individuals about community events. And she does a lot more than that, but that's the thing that you see at home. Alan Ribuffo is leaving us now. Alan was here when I got here, opened Studio 2, and is now off to bigger and better things. Nancy St. Leifer is taking over Studio 2. Nancy came to us in a free class, volunteered, and now she's going to become an Access Television professional. She's embarking on a new career. Ira Birnbaum and UA Columbia, Mamaroneck High School graduates who come back every year. They graduated last year. Mike Cocchi and Howard Reichman are always here with us, and they're here with us tonight. This year's graduating class has Aaron Meadow and Ted Oberg. Aaron's up in the light board, and Ted was our board liaison. Future high schoolers are Mark Cordazzo and Jeff Axsizer from Rye Neck. Joyce Sutherland, where are you, Joyce? She's here somewhere. Kathy Siganolfi. Joan Grott of the library welcomed us here, the director of the library, and is someone who has been very receptive to all our ideas and very supportive to me, and I appreciate her being here and her friendship. Where am I? Marcia Hopp, children's librarian. Norman Klein, Annalyn Theater. Arthur Trowbridge. Handheld camera tonight, lights an hour ago, food 2 hours ago. Arthur, you know. Arthur is the technical director of the theater and has helped us constantly, get back here and get hooked up. Also tutor of speech. And speech tutor? What else is he? Marcy Sullivan is the marketing director and public relations person. She smooths the way with all the talent that we deal with. Diane Muldeg is the box office manager. Randy Norham. Randy, I call you all the time. Randy was our treasurer until this year, and now she is doing financial facts. First Wednesday of every month, live in the community room, and she's my friend, and I'm glad. Thank you, Randy. Alice Modell. Alice Modell has half a dozen programs going on at once all the time. She produces our weekly live viewer call-in program, 36 Live, and she's a great support to me, and I appreciate you. Marianne Sullivan couldn't get here because of her plane. She was going to fly here, just to be here. Founding president, I miss her. I still rely on her and talk to her often. George Stoney, you're my last thank you. My teacher, I appreciate all the support you are. And thank you for everything. Okay, that's my thank yous. Okay, last speech. In September, it will be 3 years that I've been here. In that time, my job has changed considerably. And though I have been the engine for that change, there are things about the way we were that I miss. I miss meeting each and every person who comes through the door. I miss hearing each idea. But what I miss most is working with you on your productions. I am dazzled by the care and commitment that the people of this community bring to their projects. And though my job has changed, I still think that I've got the best job in the whole world. Every day I get to tell you that you can do on television the things that you never thought you could do. Every day I see the joy on your faces and the pride in this community that makes these channels work so well. And I'm very proud to be a part of that. So now, let's watch together a few highlights of this past year's programming.
Okay, Ken Rubin, come on up here to the bandstand, right up to the stage.
Okay, let's begin. Feet flat on the floor, sit up tall, feet with your back against the back of the chair, and let's stretch. Way up, way up, way up, and out to the side. Good stretch. Make yourself feel big. Feel the walls, touch the walls, and up. Good stretch.
It's one of my favorite postcards because this is how it must have looked when John Richbell came down our harbor in 1661.
Greg Barron, we're losing the moon.
Greg,
there.
are you up? Greg?
My couch is having some problems here. I'm sorry.
Good morning, I'm Brian Gumble, and this is Jane Pauley, and we're here at the Emmeline Street Fair in Mamaroneck, New York.
Excuse me. Wait a minute. Can I have an interview, please? Excuse me. Wait. There's my house out there somewhere. There's the harbor. There's the harbor. But Russ, we paid. Russ, we paid.
And then the boy would take you out in the hall, and then you'd stand there and you'd say, "I don't kiss boys."
Your first kiss, you're on the air.
I'd like to wish a happy Valentine's Day to my Valentine.
Hi, you're on the air.
Yeah, I just wanted, this is Diane, I have to just say something.
Yeah.
I really believe in UFOs because my husband's always missing. He's always being beamed up.
See? The crickets are still out there, though.
I'll tell you something, I'm a lucky person who lives in Mamaroneck, and
I wish you all called.
I really appreciate it because the moon over Mamaroneck Harbor is one of the most beautiful sights I've ever seen.
We had this tunnel called the Love Tunnel, and we were inside, and the girl was trying to show off and try and kiss him, so I tried to get back.
At 5:15 in the morning when we started, people didn't realize then that it was still dark, but what we did is we got everybody to bring their cars on the field and on the sidewalk to light up the field. That was our only source of electricity. So we had the same thing in the evening up until 8:15, and then our lights were put out because the police department took away our cars.
I think if you check the box score 50 years ago, if my memory is still correct, I think I was the winning pitcher.
No.
And I think Tony Camarano wore those same suspenders 50 years ago in this game.
Keep going, Joe. You're doing great.
We have a big night for the Democrats, at least in the town.
Town just bought a standard shift truck. Nobody buys standard shift trucks anymore because you don't have professional truck drivers. Even the fire departments are buying automatic transmissions. In closing, these are just some of the examples of the craziness that goes on in this town that you people are not aware of, folks. You need a change.
Oh, nice block by Weber. Weber has the ball.
I tell you, Andy, look like both teams are trying to play it safe. They're feeling each other out.
That's it. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
This important recreational facility not only provides open space for people to enjoy, but it is habitat for red fox, hawks, and other wildlife. But Bonnie Briar's future looks bleak. A New York City developer has acquired 59% of Bonnie Briar Syndicate, the organization that owns the property. Let's examine what could happen in 1998 when the lease expires. Under present zoning, the existing golf course and its surrounding open space area could be destroyed. A developer could build over 100 units of single-family houses on the property. If such a development were to take place on the grounds of the Bonnie Briar property, the entire Larchmont-Mamaroneck community will suffer.
He knows what he can swallow and what he can't, and he can't swallow a person.
Because if I pop it and nobody hears it, then where are we? Okay, here's the test. Can you hear this? Okay, no more silent tests. Okay, go.
Professor Putter's
Silent bloom pop ta-da.
silent bloom pop ta-da.
Bang! Did you hear that?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, our grand finale, the town people will juggle all together. Let's all come down. Come on, Sarah.
Hey Rex, what is that black dot in the sky? Rexy, could be trouble.
Let's get a closer look.
Okay.
If we want to get a closer look, let's go on top of those mountains.
Hey, it looks like it's coming closer.
It is.
Rexy, I think it's pulling us toward it.
Rex, the planet is shaking, and all the trees are falling down, and the volcanoes are erupting.
Let's go tell the others.
No, there's no time for that.
Hello, Jessica. Hello, Jessica. Hello, and how are you? How are you today, Jessica? How are you?
Good.
She's good. She's good. And hopes that we are too. In the summer and not in the fall, I'm never gonna sing. And I always try one more time. And I said, oh no, I'm never gonna sing. Not in the winter and not in the spring.
Hello, my name is Coco Juris, and I'm going to be the host of the week for this week.
Here comes my messenger. How now, mad spirit? What night will know about this haunted grove?
My mistress with a monster as love, so near to her close and consecrated bower. I can any no longer than you. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I
Mamaroneck is a quiet town. We all mind our own, and that's it. I don't know why you people pick on Mamaroneck. There are other places to pick on.
Ladies and gentlemen, until this room is cleared, nothing further is going to happen.
At this point, I think it makes much more sense to postpone this meeting.
Particularly in view of the statements made by the state of New York, that this environmental impact statement, as it addresses these issues, is inadequate, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Let the little boy say. Please hold the applause. Mr. Silverberg.
This TV guide is useless. There's nothing here on TV which I want to see.
If you would like to be involved in Larchmont Mamaroneck Community Television, call or stop by one of our studios. The Palmer Avenue studio is located in Mamaroneck High School, across the street from Walter's Hot Dogs. The hours there are from 3 to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday. Phone 698-6808. Studio 2 is in the Mamaroneck Free Library off the Emlyn Theater lobby. Hours there are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Phone 381-0131. Thanks for watching the LMC-TV Awards presentation. I'm Roger Norum.